Hello guys, and welcome back to Rule the Waves 3 with our Austria Hungary playthrough. In the last episode, we've been going through peacetime. It's currently 1917, it's December, so it's about to be 1918. We've been building up our defenses a little bit more, getting some coastal fortifications, airships, our first ever air base. I've learned how air groups work a little bit. It's they're not very good at pointing out how it works. But you gotta like right click over here, add an air unit, and then you can kind of make your own air units and whatnot. So what I did here was I put some fighters and naval patrol aircraft at the one and only airbase that we have over at Pola. In the meantime, we are also expanding our airships, our airship bases, and we're probably going to end up making more of them because I checked the range, and right now my airships have, and I think they still have improvements to go, not to mention parasite fighters, 10 times the fucking range that my planes do. So even though, as you might see here, I went 10 and 10 fighters and naval patrol aircraft, this is going to shrink as a ratio as we expand our airbase. I'm just kind of planning for the future because we're researching torpedo bombers right now. We don't actually have torpedo bombers yet. In fact, the cost of making airship bases is so low, I think I'm going to just fill in a lot of the places we don't have them at right now because there's not actually a lot of places left. There's 3. Fiume, which I'm still not even sure if I want to put anything there, but one more airbase isn't a terrible thing. Zara and Spalato are the most important ones. So Spalato, airship base, build time of 4, very tiny cost to actually make. Go back to Dalmatia, we need Zara as well. Build that as well. It's actually taking like way more money than it said it was going to take, so I've kind of like burned through my total right now. But those are building. Can I expand them already? No, okay, they gotta complete before I can expand them, but we will, I think we'll still go over, because we're about to finish a light cruiser. Fiume having an airbase just kind of means double the power, because you are limited. I tested it, finally. You are limited to 1 per, even though it seems like you can build more, because you can still reselect things. You are limited to 1 per. So Austria Hungary, Fiume, airship base, there you go. The air bases, we're going to be way more cautious with placing because they're very, very expensive in comparison. And as of right now, they're not nearly as useful. I don't really know what the distances are on this map, but Pola, I don't even think it can operate its planes all the way over here. It's very, very limited right now. But we're going to use Pola as a kind of starting point for our Air Force, and then we will expand it elsewhere as we can. What we can do as well is we can actually already expand this airbase, so we will. We're gonna build the torpedo bombers and then have them functioning around with the fighters. 40 is a much better way of getting the split that I kind of want here. Better way of getting a split anyway. And just having room, we're gonna have like just the 10 naval patrol aircraft. I'm not gonna expand it beyond 10 like ever until we stop having airships be reliable. And honestly, like, we're not even in the 20s yet. They're going to be reliable throughout the entire 20s. Probably, like, 2 more wars at least. Maybe 3, because they should be reliable somewhat into the 30s. We'll see how long it takes the range of aircraft to actually start going crazy. As I mentioned, that light cruiser has finished being built. There's 3 more, and they'll all finish in 1 more turn. HE shells are getting better. An improved model of our fighter has been developed, so we went from the B to the C, yeah. So they just keep improving upon that design. I don't know if that's like, what's the mechanics behind that? Is that supposed to happen? Does that make it so I don't need to even make a new one? Or is it like tech will advance faster than upgrades will? Either way, it's making it so I won't have to upgrade the fighters, it seems like, for a while. So, that's cool. I'm happy to have that. Looks like some things are getting shopped. I went ahead and I looked at everyone's massive destroyer fleets, by the way. And they are all very, very outdated. Most of them are outdated. Tensions with Italy both reduced due to the recent war and then increased because of their alliance with Great Britain, so they feel confident. That's funny. We now have a positive bit of money again, and 3 light cruisers are about to finish. This seems like the perfect time to go ahead and pay for the final battleship of this line. We will have 5 total battleships from this line once this is paid for. We're going to go ahead and pay for that now. And then when that's done, yep, we'll have a full division, 5 battleships from this line. And I think I'm going to leave it as being 5 battleships. We made this design 5 years ago. It's about to be considered outdated by the game in terms of building anyway. With money, it's just hard to pump these things out. I'm happy with a full division. 2 would be better, but I'll take 1 because at least it's a fucking dreadnought. So that really helps our blockade value, and it will help me phase out a lot of these pre-dreads. I've done a lot of looking it over to see if these would be decent as conversions into carriers, and honestly, I don't like what I've seen. I don't. The kinds of carriers they can be are just... they're bad. Like, these are going to be such over-armored carriers if we convert them. And their actual complement of aircraft is not going to be very good at all. So I'd rather just scrap the pre-dreads and wait until I can build dedicated carriers, because the first and worst dedicated light carrier I could make could probably last a long time. Not to mention these hulls are already about 20 years old, so they're through most of their efficient lifespan anyway. I'd rather just phase them out. I believe our airship expansions for the bases are finishing, and these 3 light cruisers are done. A spy from Japan was discovered. I don't need more budget, so quietly and discreetly, and I don't need tension with Japan. There's an improved model of our float plane scout, and these are for ships. So we're not even really using these at the moment. I'll take that. And now they've developed a new float plane, and they want to know if I want to buy it as a private venture. It's slower in every single way. It's more maneuverable, and it has more toughness, and it comes with bombs. No, that's not what I currently want. So, yeah, like the speed is worse too in every way. The range is terrible. No. Thanks, but no. So just hit cancel, I guess, to not take it. Okay, cool. Oh, great. Tension with Italy just increased twice. They're at 9 now. That's the opposite of bueno. Okay, no, that construction was construction of the air bases at Fiume. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to expand that. The other ones are still building. I don't know how that finished so fucking quickly. Maybe it's just because it was local and not in a colony, but I'm going to expand that. The actual air base is still expanding. The other airship bases have now doubled their total amount of airships. That's good. This will all be finishing up sometime soon. So what I think I'm going to do maybe is develop my own 1,500 ton destroyer. So this is kind of my idea. 34 knots, 1,500 tons. This will be a bit faster than every other like 1,500 tonner destroyer that I've seen. We'll have max ASW that we can have, even though this adds like barely any and is super heavy. We still have more torpedoes than we have basically on most other destroyers. So that's 6 generally that can be fired and pointed in any direction. That's pretty big improvement. We have 5-inch guns on this bitch with 250 rounds per gun. And of course, just at the very edges specifically, we have short range oil turbine, and we have 10 light AA guns, and I think this works pretty fine. I think this is just a really good design that outdoes all of our previous ones and can last probably a good bit. Destroyers, they only really go up to, I think, like 2,500 tons tops, so we've come a long way, you know. This could definitely kill other destroyers. This has so many torps. It's probably going to be the fastest destroyer in the world, if not tied with the fastest. It has our entrance to AA. We can't really do any better than light AA. 10 is around the ballpark. In a lot of cases, it's more than the AA that the other nations are putting on their destroyers. So it's decently future-proofed, I think. So we will save this. Yes, we will save it for construction. 1 month until it is ready to produce, and we will have it ready to produce. I'm so nervous about a war with Italy again. We just fought them, and now I don't want to fight them again. I really don't. Even if we have actually caught up to them nearly, in terms of money, our fleets are anything but equal. And if they have Great Britain at their side, France is just not going to be enough. This is my first ever ASW ship that I made. You can see we made like 5 of them. Its ASW values currently halved, and my new ones don't really have any better values. So this really does stand up for trade protection still. So we will save a rebuild of it. Literally just a cheap, quick rebuild. 1918. Jesus Christ, time is flying. There you go. And so we have our rebuild, and so we can go ahead. Like how this one still has its speed because it's not quite 8 years old like the other ones. And we will rebuild all of these, if it lets me rebuild every single one of them, as this new, yep, rebuild 5 ships. There you go. It's very cheap to do. This ship type is very cheap to begin with. Crew quality is good, which is good given the situation that we have potentially arising here. I just want to make sure their ASW is good to go. And doing a very quick and easy rebuild, oh, I'll put them over here now, will get that ASW value back and cost almost no money. I will reclaim the money from these old pre-dreads, the first ones I made, because really at this point they don't serve a purpose. So we are going to just select all the Kaiser pre-dreads here and we are going to scrap them. Scrap all 5 of them, we get some money back, and we get a little bit of income back as well. Well, I guess the Falklands in this game are going to be even more valuable than in real life, which is to say probably very, because they have acquired oil. Meaning, even though the UK already had oil in a colony, now they have another colony that has oil. It's pretty useful for them. New government wants to reduce naval spending in favor of social programs. Well, we've already had this before. So... You know, actually, reduced tension is good. No, I'll take that. Yeah, reduced tension. Social reforms are passed. 15-inch guns are research. I'll just take the next other thing that passes budget increases. Oh, great. What I assume to be the Congress wants to look at our design study. I can lose prestige if I don't let them look at it, or I can wait a month if I let them look at it. Sure. Sure. Let them just study it for a month. So that's a month more until we can build our destroyers. But that's fine, because we now have negative money because we don't have enough budget due to things. That, you know, that reduced tension, but it didn't seem like it reduced tension with Italy. So that's unfortunate. Because that's like the one person I need budget to change with. But we're done with that. Airship base, they're being finished in Dalmatia. That's good. A new fighter's been developed as a private venture, the Lloyd 20. Let's see, it's slower, its range is worse, it's more maneuverable, its toughness is higher. Yeah, no thank you. I like the one that we have right now. I think it's good. Okay, our destroyer is ready to go, but money is a problem, of course. If we want to make one division at a time, we're looking at a monthly build cost of a lot. So that's going to be fun, because now we don't entirely have the money to afford stuff like that. One division at a time, though, not so bad with this amount of extra funds lying around. Especially when, you know, these things are about to finish, not that they cost very much at all. But also, there's some upgrades going on, I think. Oh, okay, no. Alright, so look, this airbase has been expanded successfully. The only thing to finish over here, then, is the other airbase that is increasing. We could do some pausings on some battleships potentially if we need to free up stuff, but we definitely want to get some more destroyers coming. We're gonna make a lot of these probably. So yeah, we'll just make them one division at a time for right now. So we'll get 6 building. Let's look at the total numbers of destroyers. We have 33. Britain has 96, France 68, Italy 68. Again, remember, most of these are old. Russia 69, Germany 88. We do need a certain amount of numbers, but I think what we definitely need to do soon is get rid of all these remaining 400 tonners. This is ridiculous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 16 of these. So I want to make at least 18 of these, because these old 400 tonners are not holding up at all. Cruisers can go this fast now. Our corvettes have finished their reconstruction, and Russia wants to buy tech from me. Tensions with Russia are not very high, and I don't feel like selling it, so no. 3 and 4-inch guns can have dual purpose capability now, which is basically anti-air. That sucks that I just started making new destroyers right now, because 4-inchers with these would be very useful. But, you know, it is what it is. The times are what they are. We're probably just going to keep going with what we have. And advances in subs. Yes, mine-laying subs and long-range subs. I am going to make a ton of mine-laying subs. They have less torpedoes just like coastal ones do, but they also have built-in mine-laying capability, and they're medium range. So I can use mine warfare to wage far more effective commerce warfare without actually really pissing anybody off, because mines are not as bad for blowing up civilian ships as torpedoes are until about 1930. Also, we've unlocked the conversions into light aircraft carriers. We are not gonna bother with that. We're not. So we could pick our first ever torpedo bomber here. They have the same speeds. This one has more range overall. Same bomb loadout. This one is tougher. Okay, well, from what I see, this one is just better. Who knows the reliability? We don't actually know. But from everything I'm seeing, this one is just better. It's just better in every single way. So we're going to pick this. Look at the ranges, man. This is so little range. But the Berg, this is going to be our first ever torpedo bomber. I'm happy with that. Tension with Russia increased. What a surprise. Just not Italy. For the love of God, please, not Italy. And now that we have torp bombers, we can add air unit. Torpedo bomber, or maybe we cannot add torpedo bombers. I don't know why we can't add torpedo bombers. Maybe because we just got them. Because we don't technically have any yet. Oh wait, no, we have it, but it's going to take 6 more turns to actually develop it. Okay, so we have to wait. Well, that makes sense. Well, I'm just going to increase our fighter number here to 15 or 20. I'm not sure. Let's say 20, because I think our fighters are probably the most useful thing that we have right now. That we can have. So let's just pump those numbers up. You're still using the old planes, the old Phoenix Bs for some reason, instead of the new things. I don't know why. I guess just because they're built and they're recent enough. Phoenix B, Phoenix C, Phoenix 11. We still have some old ones. I guess they just have to get cycled through, is all it is probably. And we can request proposals for new aircraft already. The oldest thing we have are the Naval Patrol aircraft. Let's go ahead and request Naval Patrol aircraft, and we want range, and then we want speed. Not reliability. I think I picked reliability last time. Speed. So they have really good range, as good as possible, but also speed to hopefully avoid any enemy planes, that kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking. So range and then speed. Naval Patrol aircraft. Start researching it. It'll take some time. I may not make something good, but, you know, I guess we might as well just have that going. Oh my god. Some officers are concerned we have too few destroyers to protect our battleships and cruisers against enemy submarines. A recent study suggests we need at least 21 more destroyers. Does that include the 6 that I'm building, or does that not include the 6 that I'm building? That's a lot of destroyers, man. What does that even add up to? And France wants to extend our security arrangement. Yes, I definitely need it, and it's still not even enough. Getting close to mastering AON armor, that's really good. And to inventing the HO, whatever, rangefinder. Okay. Well, alright, let's try some math. 21. This would be 39. 21's believable that it includes this. I believe that that would just add up to a perfect 60. So you want me to have 60? Not everybody else even has 60. Is it because of my amount of battleships and everything? It might be. Well, we definitely just need to be pumping these things out for right now, before anything else. Well, now we've unlocked all or nothing armor, and HA rangefinder, and HAA effectiveness, that's heavy artillery, or anti-aircraft artillery, which we don't really have, because what we're going to need to do is we're eventually going to need to make just like a new destroyer that has 4-inch guns, and then make them DP, and that would be our heavy anti-air. Which for right now shouldn't matter too much because we're not in the era of aircraft carriers yet, and planes are just so short range and so bad right now that I'm not going to prioritize it because that would just cost even more money to kind of get going, and I don't care about that right now. Tension with Spain or Italy, well, Spain's decreasing, Italy's increasing. This is dangerously fucking close to war, and I really don't feel ready for it because, again, Great Britain. What am I supposed to do there? We've now enabled directors for secondary battery and light cruiser main batteries, so that's cool. We're getting close to diesel generators. Okay, that's neat. That sounds useful. Contention with Italy go down. Oh my god, it went up and then it went down. This is terrifying. We're on the brink of war with Italy again. This is way too quick. They have an alliance with someone that's going to absolutely kick our ass. And we are not ready. We are just simply not ready. And our money is not doing that great right now. Let's halt this for a month and then just move along into the next one. Superimposed mounts on light cruisers. And for guns as well. That's good. Tension with Spain reduced. Yeah, we're never going to be at war with Spain. It's just Italy hates our guts. And then nobody else hates our guts. Wow, this didn't even get my money down as low as I needed it. Just halting this entirely? Well, that's crazy. That's what a budget reduction will do to you. Let's go into the next month. Diesel generators unlocked. I don't really know what that does in this game. Regardless, we have a gradual damage control improvement. New naval patrol aircraft prototypes ready for evaluation. Okay. This is what we have right now. So the speeds are higher in every regard. The ranges are better in every regard. Firepower differences, maneuver differences, toughness differences. Oh, I think the Lloyd 26 is the one. Yeah, it's a little bit slower. A little bit. But the range is much better. Firepower is it's just a bit lower. But maneuver and toughness much higher. And these are starting to come with bombs. On my naval patrol aircraft. I didn't really expect that, actually. But it's good, because again, these Rangers, they're getting much, much better. This is way better than what we have. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and take this. That is an improvement. It definitely seems like developing new aircraft gives just much better options than simply having upgrades to your old one. So upgrades are good, and they seem to be pretty much free and welcome. We're going to go for a fighter again next, because at this point we have less firepower on our fighters than we're going to have on... Actually, no, these are our naval patrol aircraft, but still, like, this could be much better. This could be much, much better than it is. And, like, these are not very tough either, but how important is toughness compared to maneuverability? I don't really know. But I'm going to prioritize firepower and maneuverability for another fighter and see what they think up. Worst case scenario, they don't think up anything good, and we just move on from there. World economy recovered after the crisis. Wait, what crisis? We had a crisis? Cruiser ran aground ashore of a minor nation performing an illicit intelligence operation. The last thing I need is more tension. So I'll just apologize, lose some prestige. I'm fine with that. Fleet tactics progress. New torpedo bomber is ready to go. Additions during development has made it somewhat sluggish. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. No tension increase, which is good. We can now make a air unit dedicated to torpedo bombers. 10 of them. There you go. I noticed we can make them carrier trained as well, so I could literally carrier train these land things right here. And can we? I guess we can't change that in the middle. We have to like delete it, make a new one. But we could train carrier aircraft on land, essentially, with elite pilots and everything, which is essentially what I'm doing. Oh yes, Great Britain and Italy left their treaty. I love it. I absolutely love it. And America wants to sell us AP heavy shells. Yes. Thank you. I'll do that. Weight saving on hull. Now I approve of tensions with Italy. They went down a little bit though, while I was skipping through turns. I'll fund a little bit more intel on them because war might be soon, and at this point it's going to be me and France versus Italy, which is essentially like what we had before, just we also used to have America. Our tensions are starting to grow all over the place. All over the place. The only thing I care about is Italy. Yeah, they had rising tensions, and that's why they kind of gave up on each other. Honestly, I kind of wish that I took the alliance with Spain. I just really needed the budget when that popped up. Because Spain and France combined may have stood a chance against Great Britain. Thankfully, my gamble kind of paid off, and I didn't really need that. Spain could also help me against this. I might be more careful about refusing alliances in the future. Because I just kind of realized just how useful these are with things like blockade value when you have one of the smaller fleets in the world. We have some machinery development. We got unit machinery, which is not something I think we care about. New fighter prototypes are available to look at. God, I wish you could resize this, but you can't. Let's see. Slower speeds, worse range, better firepower, same maneuver, and worse toughness. These are fucking awful. Okay, well, I will not take any of those. But our new naval patrol aircraft is good to go. Italy tension reduced. Yeah, now that Italy doesn't have Great Britain, they're gonna get real pussy-like at this point. I'll request a new float plane scout. I kind of have different ideas for what I want out of these things. Float plane scouts, these are the kinds of things that are gonna be attached to ships eventually. So what we'd really want them to be, rather than having range and reliability, we'd probably want something more like speed and maneuverability. That's my thought, right? Because they're scouts for, or maybe just speed, but they're scouts for planes that are on ships. Speed to just outrun everything would be great. Maneuverability to not get shot down would be great. Speed and range may be good, or like speed and speed. Let's go speed and maneuverability. Float plane scouts and see what they think up. We got our third dreadnought finished. Boom times, windfall and tax revenues. How do you want to spend the money? Ooh. Strengthen the Navy. That's budget, prestige, and tension. Build railroads, long-term prosperity. And start modest social programs. So this sounds like it would increase our base resources. So I'm going to pick this one. Yeah. Build railroads. AP projectiles are being improved. Yeah, they're too pussy to fucking go to war with us now. They don't have Great Britain. Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, I have to keep assigning so many new commanders recently. Let's go Lucky Gunnery Expert. Assign this to its battle division. And I keep getting the pop-up telling me, you need more destroyers. You need more destroyers. Let's resume the construction finally of the final battleship of that class. It's going to take a while to get that one out. We have positive money at the moment. And 2 more turns until some of these destroyers are done. We're going to need apparently just so many more destroyers. So we're going to keep pumping those out, really. During a coronation review, there's been a collision between one of our ships and a ship from Germany. I could blame them or lose prestige. I will gladly just blame them, because it's not like we have anything really going on with them anyway. We have a convoy system, so we'll have a reduction in merchant losses to submarines. That's good. Yeah, we're going to need to build some mine layer ones, too. We got to somehow work that into the budget while we're pumping out destroyers. The destroyers are more important. We have fairly new coastal submarines, so destroyers take priority. Is anything else getting obsolete? I mean, a lot of things, like our oldest destroyers. All of our destroyers, actually, are now obsolete. They're just all that old. Another reason why we just need replacements. We need, like, modernized destroyers that are just good in general. And we're about to finish a bunch of them very soon. So I'm going to get started building the next division as well. Just get it building right now. We're going to need it as soon as possible. First, to just have more, but then to also replace. Yep, 4 destroyers have been commissioned into the Navy, and one of our light cruisers collided with a new ocean liner. It'll be in dockyard hands for some months. It's caused by a rate of fire enthusiast. Ill-judged maneuver. What should we do? That's brutal. I either lose prestige or a court of inquiry. Just do a court of inquiry. He's just average anyway. It doesn't matter. Russian and Japanese relations are very tense. Oh, they might be going to war. They might be going to war. And yeah, tensions for us are not increasing. How tense? 10. That's very tense. That is like about to be at war type shit. Whew. Alright, the world is heating up. Amazingly, I still haven't expanded these, so let's expand them. Can you be expanded? No. Can you be expanded? No. I like how these ones grayed out. Like, no, it can't be expanded. This one isn't. Maybe 16 is just the max airships that any base can have. Looking at our defenses everywhere, I believe we have airship bases everywhere now, literally everywhere. And we just have a normal airbase here. This one airbase is probably just as expensive as all of our airship bases combined. Just want to point that out. Maintaining aircraft and the like, but I want to get my foot in the door. Even if it's only in one place. I'd rather not make another one until we owned Valona, because even with short range, we'd have amazing coverage over here, which could be pretty important. Spallata would be another good spot, but our range isn't good enough to justify that yet on our planes. However, this has been a nice full episode, so we'll pick this up on the next one. So for now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.